Welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking the Trumann and Poinsett County Mold Remediation Guide. If you live in Trumann, or, well, anywhere in Poinsett County for that matter, you already know exactly what that late spring air feels like. It's heavy, it's wet, it's sticky enough that your bathroom mirror is fogging up right in the middle of the day. It's a very specific, recognizable environment, and we're going to examine exactly why that climate is a hidden danger for your home, and more importantly, how to definitively handle it. You know that feeling, right? That heavy, wet Arkansas air. It's a sensory experience we all know a little too well down here. But while we might just turn up the AC and try to ignore it, that exact humidity along the St. Francis and Tyronza river bottoms is literally what mold is waiting for. The second that moisture gets behind your drywall, seeps under your subfloor, or gets sucked inside an HVAC return, the invasion begins. And trust me, it doesn't pause, and it definitely doesn't stop on its own. The math behind this problem is kind of scary, honestly. We're looking at a climate that routinely hits 85% relative humidity for weeks on end. Add to that those intense summer storms blowing up I-55, dropping inches of rain in an hour, plus the frequent flash flooding we see around Speedway Boulevard and Highway 463. When you combine that baseline humidity with just a single tiny roof leak or a slow plumbing drip, you've got the absolute perfect environment for a mold colony to establish itself inside a wall cavity in less than 72 hours. That's under 3 days. Okay, let's dive into this checklist of warning signs. We're talking musty closet smells, dark spots creeping out from shower corners, persistent nighttime coughing, peeling paint, and unexplained water stains. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that these aren't just random, separate household annoyances. They are all red flags pointing to the exact same source. And here's the really alarming part. By the time you can actually smell that musty odor, the mold hasn't just arrived. It's already been growing for weeks, sometimes even months, completely out of sight. So what does this all mean for your health? Let's see how this goes from an ugly aesthetic issue into a serious health crisis. You've likely heard of Stankobotrys, the infamous black mold. This particular toxic fungus produces dangerous mycotoxins. When you're dealing with this, you aren't just dealing with a house problem anymore. You are dealing with a direct threat to the physical well-being of anyone breathing that indoor air. But hey, it's not just black mold you've got to watch out for. We also have Aspergillus, Cladosporium, and Penicillium. These are super common indoor molds that act as severe triggers for allergies, sinus infections, and chronic fatigue. I mean, how many times have you or a family member blamed allergy season for feeling awful, run down, and congested, specifically when you're just sitting indoors? If your symptoms hit you the hardest when you're inside your own house, these specific fungal intruders are incredibly likely to be the hidden culprits. Mold is literally the very first thing you need to rule out. And look, we're not just taking a wild guess here either. Indoor mold is officially classified as an indoor health hazard by the CDC and the Arkansas Department of Health. Having these major authoritative health organizations classify it this way really elevates the seriousness of the whole thing. We absolutely have to stop looking at mold as just a gross house thing or some minor maintenance chore. It's a documented scientific health hazard. And who's at the greatest risk? Well, the most vulnerable populations are children and infants, senior citizens, asthma sufferers, and anyone with a compromised immune system. Yes, mold is going to eat the organic material of your house, your wood framing, the paper on your drywall, your insulation, and it can rot load-bearing structures until you need a major renovation. But the most immediate, pressing danger? That's to the vulnerable family members living right inside these dry-in homes. Now, what's really interesting about this next point is that it busts a massive homeownership myth. We're talking DIY bleach fails versus certified remediation. So many people reach for a bottle of hardware store bleach at the very first sign of mold. But here's the truth. Bleach does not kill mold on porous surfaces. It merely bleaches the color right out of it, making it invisible, while leaving the entire root system perfectly intact to grow right back. Those hardware store sprays barely even touch the roots. Actually, it gets worse. If you attempt a weekend DIY cleaning project, you are actively making the situation worse. Scrubbing mold without proper professional containment launches millions of invisible spores straight into the air. Your HVAC system picks them right up, and suddenly they're drifting into the rest of your house. We see it all the time. A homeowner tries to clean a small patch in the bathroom, and a month later, they've got a massive remediation bill because the contamination has spread to 2 more bedrooms. No way. So what's the actual solution? The definitive answer is the 5-step certified remediation process used by professionals to permanently remove the threat. Those steps are inspection, containment, removal, drying, and verification. Let's break down exactly what real, certified mold remediation looks like step by step. Step 1 is inspection. Real remediation doesn't start with a quick spray or a wild guess. Professionals use high-tech equipment. We're talking moisture meters, infrared cameras, and lab-tested air samples. Whether you're living in an older craftsman cottage on Main Street or a newer subdivision out toward Two Lot, this tech finds every single colony, even the hidden growth behind your drywall or tightly packed under the flooring. Step 2 is containment. Before any removal even begins, the team completely seals off the affected area. They use negative air pressure and HEPA-filtered scrubbers. This is absolutely crucial because it ensures that no dangerous spores can escape the work zone and drift into the clean, safe rooms of your house while the physical labor is happening. Then we hit step 3, removal. And honestly, this is an aggressive phase. It involves the physical demolition and removal of porous materials that just can't be saved. Things like rotting wood framing and ruined drywall. Then comes meticulous HEPA vacuuming of every single surface, followed by heavy-duty antimicrobial treatments applied directly to the structural framing so that the mold is stopped dead in its tracks and cannot return. Okay, step 4 is drying. And this right here is exactly where almost all DIY jobs completely drop the ball. Professionals bring in commercial-grade dehumidifiers and air movers. They know that if the underlying moisture source isn't permanently fixed, and if the wall cavity isn't dried so that the wood moisture content drops below a strict 16% threshold, the mold is just going to come right back in a few months. They don't leave until the readings prove it's completely dry. Finally, step 5 is post-remediation verification. This is a third-party clearance test that gives you a written, defensible record that your home is officially clean. Why does this matter? Well, if you ever need to file an insurance claim, if you decide to sell your home, or if you need to dispute an issue with the landlord, you have critical, undeniable documentation proving the hazard has been completely eliminated. The best part? This specialized, certified service is highly local. Professional help covers Poinsett County thoroughly, from Trumann and Marktree all the way over to Tyronza, Lepanto, Weiner, and Harrisburg. If you're in Northeast Arkansas, professional help understands your specific housing stock and the exact weather challenges you're facing. Now, if you're feeling a bit anxious about the cost or the process, don't worry. There's a totally risk-free way to get answers. The Mold Remediation Hotline offers free phone consultations, free on-site inspections for active leaks, and a 24/7 emergency response team. Plus, they handle direct coordination with your insurance carrier, which means homeowners usually aren't fronting these massive costs out of pocket. It's a huge relief. Listen, if you even suspect you have a mold problem, stop what you're doing. Put down the bleach, and whatever you do, don't try to paint over it. Reach out to the local professionals immediately at 332-220-0303 to get ahead of this thing. Don't let mold quietly take over the structures of your home and the health of your family. Give them a call. I really want to leave you with this final thought. Take a look around your home and ask yourself, are you treating the root cause? Or are you just painting over a toxic problem? Take your home safety seriously. Evaluate those warning signs we talked about, and if you have any doubts at all, call the hotline today and get it checked out by the pros. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, stay safe out there.